confidence today, because this is the foundation of everything. External confidence comes from clothes, dressing up nicely, body, you've worked out. It contributes to external confidence. And external confidence, how will it show itself? When you walk into a room, when you stand at the center, it really shows that you have enough external confidence. There are people who can have internal confidence, but they lack external confidence. Internal confidence comes from childhood. I'll come and break down each of them. I'm going to take time for you to properly understand. Internal confidence comes from childhood. That's why, like sahi venye mmeka hivi, the seats at the front are empty. Because this one is internal confidence. That someone can come from the back and walk at the front and sit. That's as a result of internal confidence, right? You see she has entered, she's gone at the back immediately. No one has told her to go at the back. But there's someone who can come in and come at the front without being told. That's internal confidence. That's what we call kierere. Now some of you lost it. Either by being discouraged, or either by fear. Or either in an environment where people found it a bit weird, so you lost it in the process. That's internal confidence. The third one is called expressive confidence. Expressive confidence comes with results. For example, having a degree, having a PhD, having money. That one comes with results or a track record. You know, I have 25 years of experience. Have you ever heard someone speaking? They're not speaking so well, but they are saying I have 30 years of experience. And that's what gives them expressive confidence. That's what baby boomers and Gen X have. Because also this thing is generational, and I'm going to break it down. The last one, nipeni energy, maze smile a bit, msikuwe na pressure, hizi vitu mtakuwa nazo. Intrinsic confidence comes because of competence, sharpening your gift. For example, as a public speaker, I will come and talk, whether I am prepared or not, whether you wake me up at midnight or not. Why? Because I've worked on my competence levels. I can be ambushed to speak, and I'll do it. Like this guy, I'm sharpening his intrinsic confidence. When he came in, he was a graphics designer. But sometimes I'll deliberately come in a session 20 minutes late. And then I'll tell him moderate. One day I sent him somewhere to speak. He almost died. But can I tell you something? 2 weeks ago, he spoke in his church for 2 hours. And he did it excellently. Intrinsic confidence comes because of competence. When you do something as many times as possible. That's why I told you, public speaking can never be complete without practicals. Because if we sharpen you theoretically, utafeel nika unajua kitu. But when I take you before 2,000 people, like some of you this month, I'll take you to speak before 2,000 people. You can even die, or you can resurrect. But anyway, the whole point is that there is a way in which, if you want to be a good public speaker, you have to take yourself in the most intense situation as possible. Intense can mean crowds. So if I realize you fear crowds, I'll take you before crowds. Some of you don't fear crowds. Some of you now fear talking before smart people, extremely intelligent people. You fear talking before your boss. Some of you fear talking before your ex, or someone who knows you, before family. Now, some of you fear talking before people who know you, like at your workplace. So you must be able to audit your fear. And some of you fear talking before strangers. Some of you fear talking before foreigners. You can talk well in Kenya, but if I take you right now in the UK, you forget everything. So you must be able to audit your fears. Someone say, audit my fears. You must learn to audit your fears. Just sit down and then audit your fears. Where is my fear? And how do you audit your fears? You ask yourself, where do I panic most? For example, the other day I was going to train the cabinet secretary in State House. And I remember while I was going, all of a sudden in my mind, I'm like, should I teach her this? Should I teach her this? And I realized, to some degree, I fear greatness. That when it's talking before people who are quote unquote like the ordinary people, I don't really panic. But when it comes to talking before people who I consider they're at a higher rank, to some degree, I panic a little bit. So what did I do? I began sharpening speaking before CEOs. Speaking before people who I consider greater. And I began to audit fear on that direction. Are you understanding? Yes. So these three things, these 4 types of confidence, this is what I want us to work on today. For external confidence, if you find that you have external confidence, fear in that direction, it could be that you've not invested in clothes. You've not invested in your image, or you've not invested in terms of working out. Someone said that where there is incompetence, there'll be an insecurity. That's where your insecurities are. If you don't read books, you lack intrinsic confidence. If you don't read books, you don't listen to podcasts. You'll fear that I've been given 10 minutes to talk. Na vitu najua ni za dakika 3. So utaongea dakika 3 usikie ni kama umeongea vitu mingi. alafu dakika tatu useme thank you so much, wakwambie no, they still, you have 7 minutes. Why? Because you've not worked on knowledge. Yesterday we had a meeting. There's a meeting we normally do every month where you keep quiet for 2 hours and you read a book. And then after 2 hours, you come and do a presentation for 3 minutes on what you've read to sharpen articulation. Ben was there just to sharpen that discipline. Because if you don't read books, if you don't listen to podcasts, you lack intrinsic confidence. Every confidence, it's a project. I can actually do a 2 hours masterclass on every type of confidence. External confidence, it's about image, about working out. Every morning I must do like 40 to 50 press-ups. I must lift weights. Every Sunday morning I run for the first 2 hours. Why? Because I know my external confidence is linked to things like just being fit. That's why in public speaking you'll see someone like Vusi. He's fit. By being fit, it adds into his confidence. Do you know that external confidence contributes to 60% how people trust you? Do you know that it's hard buying from someone who has red short eyes? Do you know even in the CIA released a report that in America, they trust presidents who have slender noses? It's a psychological thing. Do you know that you can trust easily someone who has clean eyes, like macho ya white, macho inakaa safi? You might think they're innocent. It's a link to external confidence. There are things that are in external confidence. Do you know that someone who looks well fed, you can trust them quickly? That's why you'll never see a thin con man. All these things are very important. It's deeply psychological. That just by someone looking like they are fit, already 60% of your trust they have gained. It's called the body posture and demeanor. Do you know there is no presidential candidate who looks like a child? Look at even the people. When Matiang'i came in, why were people happy? He looks like a strong figure. He looks like he can counter the president. That's what people are happy about. He looks like a strong figure, more than Kalonzo. There is external confidence that is just linked to the body, physical fitness. Does that make sense? Yes. Do you know why people don't take Kindiki seriously? Because of body, external confidence. Now here I'll share with you some things that are very critical that people might not really notice, but they are key. That people trust people who to some degree, they have a certain body posture. It's a sign of, they trust you quickly. Do you know, right now, tuseme wezi wako hapa nje, right? And it's dark. And you're told, chagua mtu mmoja mwenza toka naye hapa nje. All the men that are here. Yes? There is someone who will not be chosen by anyone. That's how powerful external confidence is. Look at it also this way. Do you know that a lady who is 50 years old or 40 years old would rather go out at night? I remember in the village, sometimes washrooms the pit latrines are outside. I remember my auntie could pick me. I'm 10 years old, but she could tell me, I want to go with you out. Now, if thieves show up, there is nothing that I can do. But listen, manhood to some degree contributes to a sense of confidence and courage. There are times even thieves can come at your place. You know that your father is not strong. You have a father. I remember I could go out and tell other kids, baba yangu anzadi chapa baba yako. And we could argue with kids watu hiyo na jam. Naambia kwanza baba yangu atabeba baba yako. You know my dad is tall. He's like 6'5". So I will tell them mzee wangu atabeba mzee wako hivi, alafu mzee wako afanye hivi mguu, and I will describe. But do you know that a man is a sign of strength and courage? Because I remember there are days my dad will not be around. Ukisikia tu mlango imeguzwa, you have fear. But when he's around, you could sleep. That's how powerful external confidence is. Now, in your industry, I want you to check what is external confidence. Like Alex here is a chef, but also he wants to be a professional executive assistant. Now, in the world of a professional executive assistant, height is key. That's why you'll see aviation industries, they'll insist on height, they'll insist on certain things. Even there's a level where people really insist on skin complexion, which I argue with it a bit, because to some degree there are things that might not be accurate. But I want you to study the systems of the world. Why is it that the world will insist that there's the height where we don't want anyone who has a scar on their face? You'll never see any news anchor amekatwa na panga. Why is it that they insist? Because it's linked to external confidence. There's a sense of perfection that they want to present. Yes. External confidence is key. The other one is internal confidence. This one is linked to childhood. And this one is deep. It's deep. It's something that it's something that we can talk for a whole day. Just internal confidence. Because to hit 10 out of 10 on this one, you should really have worked on yourself. These are some of the signs that can show you lack internal confidence. One, msee akikuomba do, you don't know how to say no immediately. You say yes, hadi kama hauna, and then when you fail them, you won't face them. Two, if you're late in a meeting, you don't pick up the call until you arrive, then you call the person and tell them nishafika. That's internal confidence. Three, if someone owes you money and they don't return, you don't know how to ask from them. Kama msee ameikuwa na deni yako na ukaignore na mkakutana mkacheka hiyo story ikaisha, you lack internal confidence. You don't know how to say no, or you feel guilty when you say no. It means that you lack internal confidence. Or if you just cut off people, instead of having a conversation, you prefer to either block, you prefer to delete na hiyo story ishe, rather than having a conversation. Or if you don't know how to transition out of places, let's say you do not know how to leave a church, you did not have a conversation, you just left na ukapotea na hiyo story ikaisha, it means that you lack internal confidence. Or if you are this person who to some degree umai enda mahali na mko agree na mtu utalipa uende utalipa bill, mkaenda mtu akadishi food ya 3k na akakuangalia na ikabidi umelipa bill na hukumwambia au kunishow, you just had to pay the bill, it means that you lack internal confidence. That one is deeper. It's about childhood. It's about learning how to say no. It's linked to fears. There are actually 7 fears that are just inside internal confidence. There's the fear of rejection, the fear of being told no. If you're this person who you have a business na ujai record video, una recording tu biashara na unapostingi poster, you have never talked about your business. In fact, even you'll not talk about it. Ama unasemanga nafanya kabiashara, you describe it as ka business ama ka side hustle. To some degree also lack internal confidence. That one is deeper. I've written a whole book on it. A whole book called Anxiety, From Anxiety to Action. And I've described the different types of anxiety and also how it's linked to confidence and how it's linked to healing and childhood and all those things. It's a deeper thing. If you are someone who was shouted at a young age, if you did not grow with your father, to some degree you could have lost it. Or if you are the firstborn, mligrow mkiwa watu wengi, you had to step up as a child. At the age of 10 ulikuwa unabeba kuni, kuwa beba maji, ukakuja Nairobi, hustle your way out. When you soldier, literally. You have never taken yourself on a date, you have never bought for yourself a gift. Unakuanga tu shujaa. Bora watu wengine wako sawa, wewe uko sawa. You're this person who you'll serve everyone food and forget yourself. It means that to some degree you're lacking aspects of internal confidence. Adi some of you till today you still do that. You ensure that you've paid school fees for your siblings, wako sawa, and that's it. Then inakuhit hata unanga saa, unanga hadi watch ya sombili, because in your mind you're not a priority yet. Naona mmejam. Then the next, expressive confidence. Expressive confidence, I've told you it comes with results. For example, getting certifications, for us public speakers, writing a book, it comes with results and track record. And you must really work on this. Then the other one is intrinsic confidence. Intrinsic comes with competence and sharpening yourself. Now, I want us to do something because we have time today and I want us to really concentrate. I want you to do this. See yourself as a priority today in terms of your communications and your confidence. So give yourself time today as a project. Don't be in a hurry with yourself, because by the time evening comes, I want us to have worked on a number of things. So one of the things you're going to do, I'll give you a book and you'll have time alone, because some of you, you'll never read. Saleo, at least tumekushika. You're going to have time alone for just 25 minutes to read it. Then you'll present what you've read in that book for 2 minutes. One, because I want to sharpen something called intrinsic confidence. Here we are curing something. So you'll have 25 minutes, quiet time. You read a book. Then you'll present what you've read in that book authentically. Right? Sawa? Yes. Siko fiti? Because I'm giving you the flow of the day. Once you do that, there's something else now I'll be able to teach you, like how to introduce yourself, how to manage the stage, where do you stand. Because some of you are doing speech and pitch, some of you are into executive assistant classes, but you want to sharpen competence across. So that's what you're going to do today. You ready? Yes. Mko sawa? Yes. Sinaambia kwanza lazima niwaombe. Hii ilikuwa inataka maombi, because you're about just to break